Morning, students. So let's take a lecture on artificial intelligence, that is how to solve problems by searching. The problem solving agents are the agents which are supposed to solve particular problems using artificial intelligence. And the main category of such kind of agents are termed as problem solving agents because they are supposed to solve some particular kind of problems. They are a kind of goal-based agents. In the last lecture, we discussed what are the different kind of agents. And a goal-based agent is an agent which himself will decide what to do next based upon the achievement of the goal. He'll find sequences of action which will lead to a desirable state, and finally he'll achieve the goal. The main category of the algorithms are basically uninformed and informed searches. In the case of uninformed algorithms, no extra information will be given about the problem other than the definition of the problem. That means the AI agent will not be much informed about the environment, but he will only be informed about his own state, what are the next states which are possible, what he needs to achieve, and so on. No extra information will be given to him. No heuristic or rules which are not affecting him will be provided. The goal-based agent, as we have discussed in the last lecture, two main important things are that it will perceive from the environment and it will take some action. Let me choose a pen. Yeah. So it will perceive from the environment through sensors and then it will take some action using the actuator. In between, it will decide that what is my current state, what is my last state, and what was the result of my actions. So what action should I likely to be taken? Then what are my goals? Based on those goals, it will decide the final action. So you can see that the actuators, the actions taken will depend upon two things. One is the state and the another is the goal. The goal-based agents, what they basically assume is that the problem environment is static. The problem area, the environment in which they have to behave is same. The agent knows the initial state. He will also know that what is my initial state, where I have to start, what is my starting point. And he can enumerate the choice. That means the choice will be discrete. Either it can take first action, second action, three action, or fourth action. There are no actions which he can take in between, or he cannot combine the different actions as per his intelligence. So the action he needs to be taken are the discrete action. And then he can plan a sequence of actions such that each will lead to an intermediate state, to a deterministic state. That is, whenever he will take one action, his state will change to another. So he can change a lot of intermediate states to finally achieve the goal and reach a final state. So this is in the case of uninformed search or uninformed algorithm by AI agent. The agent carries out its plan with its eyes closed. What do you mean by eyes closed? Means his action will remain independent from the changes in the environment. He will take the action without looking after the environment because it is uninformed kind of environment. So well-defined problems and solution must be there because it's uninformed. We are not informing, we are not educating him about the environment. So the success of such AI agent largely depends upon the problem definition. The good is the problem definition, the good is the solution, and the possibility of reaching him to the goal will increase many folds. So in a problem, how can we define a problem actually? Basic things which are, I must say, what are the components of a problem definition or problem formulation are the four. These four are initial state. One agent must be 100% sure of the initial agent. He should know that what is my initial position, what is my initial state. Then he must know the various kind of actions which are possible and the successor functions. What function he should do next and what would be the action he should take. Then he should be able to do something called goal test. Every time he takes an action and do a successor function, he will check again and again whether he has reached the goal or not. Let's say if the goal hasn't been reached, it will again take some action and change the state. If the goal is reached, it will stop and no further actions are required. Every time the goal test has to be done. Then is the path test. What happens in path test is you will check the path cost every time. For example, a problem can be solved in multiple ways. Which way is better, that will be determined by the path cost. The way which is less costly in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of efforts, that will be preferred. So these are the four things. These are the four things when AI agent needs to be known when you are designing a problem for it. Because the person who is designing the AI agent has to formulate the problem very well. And he has to define what is the initial state, what are the possible actions and functions he can do, how he can make a goal test, and what is the cost of every path so that he can choose wisely which path should be taken. So let's take an example of a puzzle problem that's called an 8 puzzle problem. This puzzle problem, we have to change the slides. We have to slide the boxes so that we can arrange them in a order. This is the final set of slides, final set of boxes which needs to be arranged. And let's say this is the initial state. So now here you know that under states, there could be various states. There could be initial state, final state, and there will be the intermediate state. Let's say in this problem, this particular first box describes the initial state and the second box describes the final state. But you cannot directly go from initial state to the final state. You must take some intermediate states. And how do we do that? We do that using the successor function. The successor function will define that how you can change the movement, how you can actually move these boxes. Let's say we have defined that a box can move right, left, up, and down. That means these are the 4 possible successor functions which can be taken by the agent to solve the problem to reach the goal. Next is the goal test. We have to check whether the state machine reaches the goal or not. As I told, we will check his state, the present state, the current state with the final state. If that matches, that means he has reached the goal and he will stop taking the actions. But if it is not reached, he has to do some other things, some other successor functions to reach the final state. In this particular example, the path cost is 1. That means whenever you will move one box, every single movement will be costed as 1. So the cost of every step will remain same in this problem, but in different problems, the cost may vary upon the solution. So I hope this is clear now that every problem will be formulated based on these 4 things. You have to define the states, define the successor function, define the goal test, and the path cost. So in case of, let's say, 8 puzzle problem, family of sliding block puzzles, you can see a variety of block puzzles like this. It has how many states? Can you just guess? It has 9 factorial divided by 2. That is so many states. 1,81,440 states. It can change. And if a puzzle of 15 boxes would be there, so you can just check the number of states. 24 puzzle will have further larger number of states. Right? So it depends upon the kind of problem you have undertaken that how many states are possible. Let's say another example of 8 queens. In the 8 queens problem, there is a chessboard. On the chessboard, you have to place the 8 queens in such a way that no queen is in attacking position for the other queen. All the queens are safe. So in this case, you can place these 8 queens on chessboard, but no path cost because only the final state counts. In this particular problem, you are not to move anything, you're not to do anything, but you will place a queen only when you have placed it right. So in this case, there will be no path cost. but increment formulations could be there and complete state formulations could be there. Let's see how we can do that. For example, in 8 queens problem, how many states are possible? Any arrangement of 0 to 8 queens on the board are the possible number of states. Okay, let's say initial state, all queens are lying on one row. That is one state. Then you may take some intermediate states, and then this could be a final 8 queen state where no queen is finally attacking any queen. Initial state could also be no queens on the board. Successor function is you have to add a queen to an empty square. Whenever you are adding a queen, you have to add it on a new square. Right? Then what is the goal test? The goal test says that 8 queens on the board should be there and none should attack the other. So in the goal test, two things you need to verify. First thing is that all the time 8 queens should be there. Only then you are supposed to reach the goal. And second condition is that none of them should be in attacking position for the other queen. And then we can also guess that what are the possible number of sequences which could be there by simply multiplying the number of possibilities. So how can we define a state? It's simply the arrangement of n queens, one per column in the leftmost and columns with no queen attacking the other state. So what is the successor function? Whenever you have to change a state, what you will do? You will add a new queen, but in such situation, in such a condition, you have to add that it should not attack other and it should not be attacked by any other queen. Now, we have undertaken two different problems. One was the puzzle problem, another was the 8 queens problem. Now, how we can search for solutions for such problems? The basic terminology and the basic strategy which is used for solving such problems are solved using the trees. Tree is nothing but a representation of our search space. In a tree, we can define the whole states from the initial state to the final state and the successor function as well. So, in a tree representation, a state is represented by a physical configuration. Like, let's say the root node can be termed as the initial state. Other nodes may also be there. Another nodes will represent the intermediate states. And the states which do not have children or other paths, that means they are the leaves and they are the final states for the problem. So, if we want to define a search space problem, we can write a function like this, tree search, which will return us a solution. Okay. In a loop, we'll check that if there are no candidates, if we cannot expand the tree, if we are at a leaf node, then you will return failure. Otherwise, you will choose a leaf node for expansion according to the strategy. You will go to the next level. You will change the one intermediate state to the another state. If the node contains the goal state, now that means you have finally reached the goal and you can return. Otherwise, you will go and again expand the nodes and so on. That's why we have used a loop kind of condition. In the next lectures, we'll see how the tree search can actually lead to problem solving. Thanks all.